Cognitive dissonance. It's a term I've known for a long time, but I never applied it to myself. You know, I was an idiot. But I've avoided the news forever. I don't want to hear about all this stupid little shit that everybody does. You know, it interferes with my day-to-day happiness. So I don't want to hear it. But it's kept me kind of ignorant. I've been walking around with my eyes closed. You know, I always knew that there was corruption in the government. You know, I know that, our politicians are influenced by money. You know, the more money you got, you can influence policy. Whatever. I know all that shit happens. And there's the fighting between the two parties that slows things down, and the whole system gets bogged down with these different kind of corruptions. And I know all that. So it's a slow-moving machine. But I thought that the machine was moving towards helping us out, and I really believed that we had a government of the people, by the people, I feel like such a sap now, but, it's cognitive dissonance, that's what it is, and, it's this crazy ability that people have to be able to believe two completely contradicting things, and I always looked at as it, my description of what that phrase meant was, it's the ability for somebody like who is very religious to work in a field of science, that maybe contradicts some of their beliefs that the Bible teaches them. If you believe the Bible literally, and you like Sarah Palin, you think the Earth is 6,000 years old, and you're a geologist, and you go and you carbon date rocks to be hundreds of thousands, or bones, whatever, there's seriously, I always wondered, how can these scientific people, very high-thinking, smart folks, how can they believe in this fairy tale stuff? We've got tons and tons of scientific evidence that disputes these silly magic stories of the Bible, and I'm not saying I don't believe in God, but I definitely don't believe in religion. I don't believe Jesus was the Son of God, that men can do miracles, and there's a lot of stuff in there I didn't believe, and I couldn't figure out, it was just crazy to me, how really smart people can believe all that stuff. And it's this cognitive dissonance. It's built into people to be able to separate these things and not accept things that go against our ideology, and with religious dogma, that's really hard to get over. When you have a deep belief in something that's been instilled in you since day one, you grow up believing in the church, told about Jesus and all this stuff, and you hear somebody throw up some evidence that maybe suggests that some of those stories aren't true, you just ignore it. It goes against my beliefs. There's something that they're not getting or something I'm not getting. There's more to that story than we realize. And you find this way to rationalize it inside your head so that you can still believe these two different things. Okay, yeah, I believe that the science shows this, that the physical laws of the world say this, but, my ideology, my heartfelt belief says that this other thing happened, this miracle happened. So even though it's against the laws of physics, I believe it happened, and God, it just blew me away. How can smart people be so stupid? But it's not stupid. It's an innate ability that people have to rationalize things that contradict their core beliefs. And so, in my case, I had just had this belief my whole life that our government was what they tell us. And I believe the shit that I see on the news, that people are trying hard to fix this and fix that and represent their constituents, and I never wanted to participate in political debates and arguments and stuff, because I believe that people are just fundamentally different. We have our own beliefs and ideologies, and party affiliations or whatever, and the argument was stupid. You're not going to change anybody's core beliefs. But now I realize all of that is a distraction. All of the fucking arguing between parties is bullshit, that our government is one entity, and they have one common goal, and they're all fucking us over. doesn't matter if it's George Bush or Hillary Clinton or Obama or Bill Clinton or, Ronald Reagan, shit, it does not matter. The government is the government, and it's being, I've heard about shadow government my whole life, and I knew there's money behind stuff that influences, but still, I thought that they were moving towards the good of the people. And I've been walking around with my eyes closed. When I saw the 9/11 thing happen, just like everybody else, as unbelievable as it was, I saw it. They put it right in front of me. And so I said, shit, this happened. Oh my God. We live in a different fucking world now. Terrorism is a scary motherfucker. And they started talking about this Patriot Act, as crappy as it sounded. I'm like, well, maybe we need that, man. We need to be looking at people closer. The government wasn't able to protect us from that terrorist attack, so maybe we do need to give them some more reach, so they can do their job better and protect us. I believed all that shit. But now, after just taking a look at it, man, there's so much undeniable, indisputable evidence that whole event was staged. It's crazy. How could I have not seen that before? And I know now it's because just like I always rolled my eyes at all the crazy conspiracists, but they're absolutely right. The media is completely controlled by the powers that be, by the Wall Street bankers and the shadow government, whatever you want to call it. I don't get too much into the conspiracies of it all, but we definitely know that the government is lying to us. 9/11 was absolutely an inside job. There is no amount of jet fuel that could melt steel. You could slam 10 jets into that thing, it will not melt steel. It might knock the building over, might jar it off its foundation or crack shit, break shit. No way it's going to melt steel and turn that building into dust. There's no way a building fucking implodes into its own footprint either. That was completely preset, and that doesn't happen in one day. That didn't happen when the planes hit it. That shit's been going on for a long time. It takes months to set up explosives to do that. Building 7 did not even have a plane hit it, and that thing collapsed. But we all accepted it. Oh shit, okay. But actually, Building 7, got. They didn't allow that to be put out on the news very much. It came up. There's a couple little reports to raise question. And, I saw that movie that came out right after it was 9/11 Truth, people saying that it was an inside job, and there's, the conspiracy theories started coming out. But they always do about everything, and I just kind of dismissed it. And I thought, if there's anything really to this, we'll hear about it. There's going to be an investigation, a report will come out, we're going to find out, we'll hear about it. And I just dismissed it, put it out of my head, followed all the distractions of all the wars that we've started and everything else that came out of that, and never looked at it again. Until a friend of mine recently just said, hey, look at this video, this architects and engineers, just check this out. Okay, I try to be open-minded, whatever. I didn't really have any, steadfast, hard opinions on the matter. It's just, what I've been told, I just believe. But once you look at it, it's undeniable. Absolutely. There's a lot of people that benefited. There's a lot of things that go in there. The Pentagon, there was never even a plane there. Oh my, the Pentagon. How could you miss that one? The most highly protected and defended building in the world, man. They got a lot of cameras on there. They have a lot of security, a lot of defense. They monitor everything that goes on around that property, but they have no picture of a plane hitting it. They couldn't come up with a fucking picture of a plane, a video. Shit. It's clearly a missile strike on that building. Very pinpointed, targeted to a specific spot to destroy some records. Just like a lot of shit records that got destroyed. Building 7 held all the answers to that $3 trillion that Donald Rumsfeld just told us was missing, or 2.3 trillion, whatever it was, that was missing from our defense budget, which of course is black ops stuff, was never going to be found, but all the records to investigate it were in Building 7. Of course, there was a lot of gold underneath the building, and the buildings were needing to be retrofitted because of asbestos, and it was going to cost billions of dollars to retrofit them, and then all of a sudden, this guy leases them and insures them weeks before this incident, and he comes out millions of dollars ahead. He didn't even have any money to buy the buildings. He bought it on speculation and on a margin purchase kind of a deal. But yeah, he was inside. You know, the security company that managed the buildings is a Bush. Marvin Bush is the head of the company. I mean, there's so many things. I just never looked at it. I just didn't look at it. I didn't know. I just believe what I'm told. And like I said, I don't really watch the news, so I haven't paid attention. But now that I've paid attention, it has completely changed my view of the world we live in. I cannot believe it. If our government stoop to those levels, do something so dastardly, something so evil, murder all those people, and it's not even just the murder of those people, millions after that, the war, and it's hurting everybody. We're all paying for all this in so many ways, with all of our friends and families in the service that are getting mutilated and killed, and you know, the way the budget and the removal of our rights. Fuck, our Constitution has been completely destroyed as a result of 9/11. And man, I'm just unaware, but I'm not anymore, and it has opened my eyes, and I see a lot of things differently. The whole world looks different to me. It's so hard to accept, but you know, and I keep going back and back over the evidence of all these different things that I'm learning, because I have to keep reinforcing it, because this cognitive dissonance is such a strong thing built into us, you know. No matter how much physical evidence I look at, my brain is acknowledging it. Okay, I know that it's impossible for a building to collapse from office fires, you know, especially this one, heavily reinforced. Very hardy building. This was a special construction building. It houses a lot of important government stuff, you know. But it's impossible for it to collapse under fire. And, you know, once you accept that, and the cognitive dissonance thing, it's so powerful. No matter how much my brain acknowledges that that's a fact, my heart would not. I was like, man, I don't live in a world like that. That's fairy tale stuff. That's stuff that Hollywood movies are made of. These are, you know, just crazy concepts. Absolutely movie plots. You know, that's not the real world. That shit doesn't happen in real life. But it does. It absolutely does. I can't believe I have not seen it before. Cognitive dissonance, man. Powerful, powerful thing built into us. But, you know, cognition is powerful. And recognition is powerful. It's a new day for me, people. Be expecting lots of videos from me. I gotta talk about all this shit that I'm learning. I know there's all the conspiracy theorists that I've been rolling my eyes at and laughing at all these years. They've known this shit forever. It's not new information to them, but for me, this is all brand new. You know, I never accepted it, and I didn't. Man, it's scary, but you know, we need to know what's going on. We need everybody to know what's going on in order to keep them from just running over us and implementing their picture of the world. It's not our picture of the world, and we're just going to let it happen because we're stupid. Well, not stupid. We're fooled. We've been manipulated and lied to our entire lives, and a lot of us have accepted it. There's some folks, of course, that, you know, are skeptical of everything and have looked deeper into stuff, not just taking it at face value when they tell us shit. But I wasn't one of those people, unfortunately, until now. Now I am. Now I'm looking at everything. Critical thinking. Question everything and apply critical thinking. Don't just accept shit. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. There's so much stuff that I've scratched my head about over the years. Why did we go into Iraq? How does that correlate? I just didn't get it. Now I've got the big picture, and I understand why we took out Muammar Gaddafi and fucking decimated that country, and why we're going into all these other countries. It all makes sense to me now. I'm not going to lay out the big picture here. I just want to tell everybody that The world is not as we see. You know, it's. We like to think that people are good, and I think it's a trusting heart that makes us gullible to that. We want to believe that people are not that evil. They're not that dastardly. No way they would fucking collapse that huge building in the middle of our biggest city when it's full of people. And, oh, man. The U.S. government is the biggest terrorist organization on the planet, without a doubt. All right, I gotta stop. I'll go on for hours like this. Later, people.